YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am back in my home state of Colorado, and right now what I've chosen to do, instead of actually standing in front of the lens here, I'm actually letting you enjoy this beautiful view that is taking place, this sunset over the Rocky Mountains. I am just off Highway 7, and I've perched myself up on top of these rocks so that I can watch this incredible sunset taking place. Now, the clouds have been building all afternoon. It was a very warm day here in Colorado. We're getting ready to roll into a huge heat wave, and so these clouds have been building, and now that the sun is set, these huge clouds up there in the sky are just reflecting the light from the setting sun like you wouldn't believe, and just absolutely beautiful color. So I'm sitting up here on top of this ledge trying to get a nice photo of these beautiful clouds as well as the majestic Rocky Mountains. Just over off to the left out of view is Estes Park, which is one of the gateways to Rocky Mountain National Park, and then the Estes Park Lodge is just below us down there, and you can almost see just a little bit. If I move my camera just a little bit for you, you can almost see the little reflection down there from Lake Estes. And man, this is just incredible to be up here and to be capturing this beautiful sunset like this. So I'm going to go ahead and work on taking a few more photos. And what I've decided, in order to try to just capture all this and bring it all in, what I've decided is to actually try to do a pano. So I've set the camera up into vertical orientation, and I'm kind of just swinging through doing panos. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this here for a second, and whenever I pause it, then I'm going to end up turning the camera around so you can see me as I talk, as I walk through this pano. Okay, so again, I've got the camera set in the vertical mode, portrait orientation, and I've got it on about 24 millimeters right now. I'm shooting in manual mode because I want my exposure to be steady across the entire area. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of line up a spot over here to start. I've got it, the focus set where I want it to. I'm not going to focus anymore. And then I'm going to be at about I'm going to go about f11 and 1/20th of a second, I think, is going to give me the exposure that I want here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to take the first photo, and then I'm going to move it by a third, and I'm going to take another photo and move it by another third, and then another third. And as I come in here, now I'm actually getting where I'm actually capturing the beautiful clouds that I want. Now, one of the things that I've done is I've gone a lot wider than I'm probably going to use on the photo, and I've done that because that way I can crop if I need to. So I'm really shooting wide at 24 millimeter. Another reason why I'm shooting wide at 24 millimeter is because I want to make sure that the peaks of this mountain that is over here on the right side of the image is actually going to be entirely in the frame. And I want to make sure that if I have to do any kind of cropping, that I've got a little bit of room to crop that, and hopefully I've got the vertical room to be able to crop if I need to. If not, then that peak may get out. But man, these clouds right here are just absolutely gorgeous. And so again, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do another round just to make sure I capture everything the way I want to. You can kind of get a feel for the fact that I'm just kind of sitting up here perched on these rocks, and it is just amazing. I'm going to come over and go just a little bit wider over here, kind of get right about here. That looks good for me. Boom. Let's come over here another third, and again, what I use is the camera. I've got the grid lines turned on the back, and I've talked about those before. And so what I do is I use those grid lines, and what was on the right grid line, I move the left grid line too. And so I just make a mental note of what feature basically in the horizon there was lined up with that right third line, and then I just basically come over, move the left one to it, and I continue. And so what I end up with is plenty of images to be able to overlap. So whenever Adobe gets ready to stitch it together, I have no problem whatsoever in getting that stitching to work the way that I want it to. I'm going to walk around the tripod here a little bit and then come over here. Man, the light is just incredible up here. Absolutely. What a welcome back to Colorado. Thank you, Mother Nature, for the warm welcome. So it's been a good evening. Jen and Tristan and I actually drove up here, and we were originally looking to go up a road and get near some waterfalls, but man, it is still closed for the winter season. I did not expect that. And so we ended up taking one of the Forest Service roads and took the Jeep off-road a little bit and flexed the suspension, and even had an opportunity for Jen to get behind the driver's wheel and go over some obstacles, and she did fabulous. I'll tell you, I was very impressed with how good she did. So we just had a great time just kind of hitting those Forest Service roads roads and just going over some of those obstacles, and then ended up out on Highway 7. And my original thought was I was going to stop at the church, you know, Chapel on the Rock. And I looked there and I thought, man, I'm really not seeing the clouds and the color in the sky that I wanted. So then I went ahead and continued down, and there's a lake that is just behind. And I thought, if I can get these beautiful clouds with a reflection in the lake, this is going to turn out really good. But there was a little bit of a breeze, and so the lake wasn't really mirror finished, and I wasn't going to get the reflection that I wanted to. So decided to continue coming down. And as I continued coming down 7 a little bit, I saw these clouds that are just out here that we were trying to capture, and I was like, I've got to get those. So I pulled it over here on this big old boulder that's sitting here, and I basically just kind of jumped up and started climbing, just hiking up here in order to get to where I was. And these are some awesome boulders. They've got little areas with like little water stuck in and everything, and little crevices and everything. So it really just turned out to be just a beautiful evening to come out here and do this. And the temperature up here is so much better than it was at home. We were sitting there, I mean, it's like 93 degrees, and we're sitting inside the air conditioning, and I was just like, nah, this doesn't work for me. I got to get out and do something. So up to the mountains we came in cooler weather, not relying on air conditioning, and blessed with just a beautiful sunset. So, well, it seems like just as fast as it happened, the color in the sky is just gone. And you know what that means? It's time to pack up the gear and start heading back home and put the files on the computer and see what kind of an image we came up with. You know, hey, appreciate you watching this video. I hope you got something out of it as I was putting that panel together. If you did like the video, of course, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And of course, ring that bell so you're notified next time I upload a video. Until then, happy shooting.